Myles, what do you think of Clowney telling Mary Kay yesterday that the organization is more concerned with getting you in the Hall of Fame versus trying to win games? What's your response to that?
I mean, I think everyone's concerned about winning games, and you know, I disagree with seeing it that way. I think the guys in our room and really the guys in the organization our sole focus this season's been on winning and getting everyone good matchups and trying to get everyone a way to win. It's not just trying to get me good looks or someone in particular. We're all trying to find a way to win and all trying to get some success on the field because everyone's trying to get towards the postseason and the Super Bowl.
Myles, what's your relationship with Jaden? You guys seem to be really good friends. Is that still the case?
I mean, it's always been cordial. I mean, I always have fun talking. It's never been a problem, and it's never been personal. I don't take his comments personally, and it's just the nature of the beast.
We talked to Jaden back in October, and he mentioned about early in his career when he fought through injuries that hurt him in the long run. We talked to you the next day, and you said that's not really the same mindset that you had. Just gonna strip. Was he a bad influence to maybe some younger players here or anybody in that defensive line room?
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I mean, everyone has their way of dealing with things. For some, it's better to wait and not hamper themselves with injury, and some can linger and take away from your production and your film. And so whether you're going to stay here for the long run or you're going to go on somewhere else, you don't want to put bad film out there. But also, if you can play at a high level and you believe that what you can do is still at an elite tier, then continue to do what you do, hurt or not, or injured or not.
How do you feel about being sent home today? Probably not going to play Sunday. I'm assuming he probably won't play Sunday. But how do you feel just about how this went down, how he handled it? Now he's not going to be available to you guys probably on Sunday.
I mean, we just want volunteers, not hostages.
Did you know he was unhappy?
Did I know he was unhappy? I mean, I knew he was frustrated. I mean, we've all been frustrated. We're not winning, and I know he wants to produce more. Hell, I want to produce more. We all want to do more. You always feel like you can do more, especially when you're not winning, and everyone feels that when you come in here and the result stays the same, or you give up one that you feel like you could have gotten. So, everyone has that sense of disappointment and regret for some plays, and everyone handles it a different way.
Myles, Kevin said today, in-house stuff should stay in-house, and this is really the second year where it's not stayed in-house, and big problems behind the scenes have boiled out in a very public fashion. Last year it was the Odell Baker situation.
Mm-hmm.
Is there, as someone that's been here now, is there a bigger issue at play here?
I mean, I think we have, some playmakers who, are prideful in their abilities and want to make plays, big personalities, and I think when you have that, you have to be able to try to keep it within the group, try to keep it within this culture, not let it leak out. And I think there'll be instances of that, but I feel like as the years go by, we start to keep on shaping the thing how we want it, how detailed and disciplined we want it in this room, in this locker room, and I think it will only get better.
Myles, Chris said he was in the position meeting this morning before he went home. Did you talk to him? What was that like this morning?
I mean, he didn't really talk to anyone, so I didn't have a chance to talk to him.
Myles also said that Jadeveon essentially tapped out of that game against Baltimore earlier in the year. Did he apologize to you guys for that or anything, or try to make it up to you guys in any way?
No. But also, I mean, during the game, I didn't know. Like I assumed he was hurt or something was wrong, so I kept on playing. I didn't really think of it. I assumed, I saw him going to the 10, I believe, and so I just kept on, doing what I was supposed to do, and just trying to, keep us rallying. And we had a chance in the game, and I just assumed that something was holding him back, and he didn't want to hold the team back, with whatever was bothering him.
Gotcha. You said you understand his frustration and disappointment. How disappointed are you that he handled it this way?
I mean, I'm disappointed because this is our team. He's my brother. He's my teammate, and I wish we could have talked about this, man to man, and and to us as coaches as well. Could have sat us all down and had just a conversation, and that would have probably been the way I would have handled it. But hindsight is 2020. He's feeling a lot of emotion towards what has been a season of ups and downs, and there's no perfect way to handle things, but I wish he would have handled it a little bit differently.
The coach make it sound like he's jealous of how the Browns are using you and maybe even you, just your talent. Did you ever sense that from him?
No, I didn't sense any jealousy, but I feel like what I've done speaks for itself, and I feel like, of course, they're going to put me in positions where I can make plays, but they're also going to be positions where I'm going to get double teamed. I'm going to be I move all over the line, and he's moved as well. We're both moved to be put in favorable matchups. That's kind of the name of the game. Put your guy against their best, and then put your guy against their worst, and see what happens. And he's getting those same looks. At least that's what I see, and that's what the rest of the D line is getting. And we want to get everyone a chance to win, an opportunity, and I wish we could have talked about it.
Myles, when did you know that he wasn't hurt, that he just was refusing to play on first and second guy? I mean, that was a huge game for you guys, a game that maybe your season looks differently if you win.
I don't believe I knew until about Tuesday, Wednesday that week. So really, it didn't come to my mind to ask or think about it, just because that was my assumption. I was like, not like he wouldn't play. If he can play, he's going to go out there and play. I mean, that's been his mindset. That's been what he's talked about. But I mean, proof is in the pudding.
Myles, you have lobbied for him. You lobbied for him to re-sign here. You guys have really complimented each other well on the field, and this kind of seems now like scorched earth a little bit. Like, how could he come back here from this? So if this is the end of Jadeveon's career here, what do you think about that?
If it's the end, I want someone who's here to win games, who's going to give his all at all times, not just when he's feeling good or he's not. And I think a lot of the time he's definitely brought that. I think the Ravens game is really an outlier for him, and I wish him the best. Whatever happens, if he stays here or not. But I mean, if he does stay here, we all have to come to an agreement, an understanding about how the situation is going to be across the line and how we can help each other and build off each other. Because last year he had a great year, and this year I think it's just he's not performing like he was last year, and we're not performing as we were last year. As a team on defense, and I think it's just become frustrating, especially seeing that first year that we had together, for the playoffs, and him coming that next year, seeing that was going to be the future, and it's frustrating for everybody, and it's just it takes a lot to deal with and understand, but that's what happens.
Myles, you've been double teamed more than any other player in the NFL. Based off that, are you kind of confused by the way Clowney feels about you getting favorable matchups?
A little bit. And man, if I'm the most double team guy, it's hard to say I'm getting the most favorable matchups. But I mean, the design is to test both tackles, try to get inside when we can, when the call demands it, or when we have the opportunity on third and long. I mean, it's all depending on the third money downs and what position we're in, whether it's short or medium or long. And there were some opportunities where I was able to move across the line, and he would move across the line, and we had some success. And in times where I stayed where I was at and I had some success, and so did he. So it's a little confusing, but I mean, we could have had clarity if he just talked to us.
Myles, what do you think this says about the culture here with this team? You've been through a lot. I mean, it seems like the culture's getting better. What do you think this says about it?
How we respond, it will show what the culture is. It's all in action. And if we're a brotherhood like we say we are, then we'll rally together, and we'll put up a hell of a fight, and we'll get a win in Pittsburgh. So we got to show it.
Myles, going off of that, why do you think so many players have spoken out since last year? It's something that happens consistently. It's not necessarily normal in this league. What needs to change for you guys to feel comfortable that things don't need to be aired out, so to speak?
There's got to be better communication across the board, and there's got to be a steady dose of leadership from the top down. And we've got to squash all this before it comes to a figurehead like this. And there shouldn't be a lot of instances where stuff like this happens, especially with this group of guys, how talented we are, and the level of leadership that we do have here, from all across the board, older guys and veterans coming from different places. Jacoby, speaking about him especially, with how much he's brought to this team, we have to be able to utilize that and, to listen and appreciate it. And I have to be able to bring that myself and funnel it and be a soundboard for him and others. And we got to be able to really use and appreciate that as it should be.
What kind of conversations would you like to have maybe this off season to make sure this doesn't once again happen again next season when you do have so much talent on this roster?
Man, I mean, then the offseason will really be about communication and understanding your brother. I don't think this, would happen if, him and I talked, or all D-line talked, or me, him, and Kiff. There are just instances where this could have been handled, but I feel like it just slowly became bigger and bigger throughout the season. It started really Ravens game and then carried on. But we just needed that time together, that time to gel, and we didn't use it as well as we should.
Would you welcome him back if the Browns, if everybody got together, put their heads together, and tried to work through this? Would you personally welcome him back onto this football team?
Like I said, I want volunteers, not hostages. If you feel like no one believes in here, then go where you feel like you're wanted, you're loved, and you can be appreciated.
Myles, all the issues on the field with all the miscommunications and the breakdowns and sometimes confusion with personnel and things like that, coupled with the stuff off the field on your side of the ball, really seemed to reflect poorly on Joe Woods and the leadership of this team. What would you say to that as far as that being a fair connection of the dots?
I mean, to say that would take us out of the equation. You've got to look at the whole picture. It's miscommunication, but we still have to play what we know. Like, no matter the call that he gives us, we walk through stuff multiple times. We sit and sit through meetings for multiple hours. At some point, we have to take it upon ourselves to know what we're supposed to do or to play off of each other. The call's never going to be perfect, but we've got to find a way.
Myles, communication has been a word that's been used a lot. How do you get, like you say, you want to get better communicating? Is that something that's just you have to really work on as somebody who's maybe not as loud, or is that something that
just get that shit off your chest? I mean, if you have a problem, just say it, vocalize it. Whether it's I don't like this play, I don't like this call, I don't want to be in this position. Can we work something here? And come to an agreement. I feel like there are a lot of times where guys have some frustration of where they are in certain instances, and it can easily be remedied. And I feel like that's the point we need to get to. It's like, all right, I feel like I'm better here, and we talk to the guys amongst the guys, amongst the coaches, and say, all right, let's practice it, let's work through it. I think this will work better for us, and then we can all be on the same page. That's why I don't think we're on the same page. I feel like some guys feel we aren't in the right places at sometimes, and sometimes I mean that's just what you got to do. I mean, sometimes I don't want to play three techniques. Sometimes I feel like, hey, I should be rushing the edge, but like this is what the call is, what the play is. You got to run the call.
Do you think, like, for lack of a better term, is it hard to get shit off your chest? Is it hard to, like, is there a culture of openness in this locker room of getting stuff off, or is it like people are just, guys are kind of afraid to say their mind? I mean,
It's not consistent enough. I don't think anyone's scared to say what's on their chest, but they need to. Timer did go off about my clock out time, but the guys need to be able to say it at all times. It should be very open, and I don't know if I need to promote it or us as leaders need to promote that more, but we've got to have a level of openness where you can vocalize what you're feeling, and there'll be a yes or a no waiting on you. That's just what it is. But you have to put that out in the air of what you're feeling and the problem that you're dealing with.
Are there other guys in the locker room, do you think, that are harboring feelings like this, like Jadeveon was, that haven't spoken up?
I have no clue.